Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to be making a video about objects, creating your own objects. Now, you can create objects up here, pre-made objects such as, I don't know, a scanner. Scanner is an object. You don't need to learn what that is for now, but scanner is an object. But we can create our own objects. Now, how do we do that? Well, you can see in our source folder, we have our Java tutorial class. Now, technically, this is a kind of object, um, but we don't really think of it as an object simply because we haven't gotten there yet. But let's delete all of the code we have. Let's create a brand new object. Now, to create our own object, we go into the source folder on the hierarchy, right-click, and create a new Java class. This Java class, let's just call this a object. Our object. And let's create that. Now in this class, you can see it's empty. It's a new class. And this class doesn't actually have anything in it. Our object is empty. Now, before we get into, actually no, let's do this. So in our object, we can create more methods. Public void say hello, I guess, say something, and let's create those curly braces, and then we can say hello. So this method is called say something, and it says hello. So now we need a way to access this object. To do this, in our main method in our Java tutorial class, what we can do is create a new instance of this object. Now, you can't just say our object dot nothing. You can't do that. You can't call that method by doing dots and then say something. You just can't do that because it is not static. So, and we're going to learn about that in a different episode, but in order to understand what static means, we have to first create this video. Because the hard part is that all of these different concepts rely on each other, so you can't really teach one of them without knowing everything about it, because it always requires something else. So, so to access this, we actually need to create a new version of our object. So you can pretend this is like a theoretical object, and we need to actually create this object. You can think of it as like a plan to create an object with everything laid out. So it's a theoretical object that we haven't created yet. So to create one, just go into our Java tutorial class. We can just say our object, and now we put in the name of this object, so we can just call this object, and then we set this equal to a new our object, and there we go. We've just created a version of our object. Now we can call object dot say something, and now when we run this, it'll say hello, because we've created a new version of this object, and the object that we have created has this method inside of it. So then we can call say something through this object. So you can see we're not referencing the class, we're referencing the object that we created. And if we run it, it says hello. Now here's the weird part. You can create another instance of this object. You can say, you can create another our object and name this another object, and set this equal to new our object. We can say object, or sorry, another object dot say something. And if we run it, it'll say hello, hello. Now, when we call say something, we aren't actually calling this method. We're creating a new version of this method, and we're calling that version of that method. Now, if you don't understand what I mean by that, let's just do this a different way. So let's have a variable here. Let's have a global variable, and we can say public integer hello, and please just ignore the fact that we're using static in some cases, static in other cases, because we haven't learned about that, and it's hard to teach that without knowing this first. Number equals to 5. If we go over to our Java tutorial class, instead, we can print out, we can access that variable. Right, let's just go into our first object, and we can say print out object dot number. Number is the variable we created in this class. And when we run it, it'll print out 5 because it's creating a new instance of this object, of our object, which creates a new instance of number, and then we are printing out that instance of the variable number. And it's currently set to 5, so it's going to print out 5. However, if we go over here, and we go to our other object, our object, and say dot number, and of course, remember, number is an integer, and we can just set it just like any other integer is set, so we can set it equal to 2. So, by default, our number is equal to 5 in this class, and we aren't changing it here. We're not changing it with this instance, but we are changing it as in this instance, and we're setting it to 2, so when we run it, oh wait, sorry, not run it. So then when we print out number and run it, you can see it prints out two different numbers, 5 and 2. Now, why is this? Well, I don't think I explained the instances part very well, but let's just go into paint.net. So let's say we have a box. This is our class. This box is our class. Now when I say create a new instance of it, I mean create another version of it. So when we create a new instance of it, we simply create another box. It's the exact same thing as this box until you alter stuff in it. But altering this does not alter this. Alright? Let me say that again. Altering this box does not alter this box. This is a separate version of this box. And actually, you can think about it a lot like the multiverse in Marvel. They are two different instances, but two different instances of the universe. Let's just pretend these boxes are the universes, is a universe. This is a different instance of the universe. However, just like how Marvel explained it, this does not interact with this. Same thing if we create another instance of it, another version of this box. Create another version. This box, these two boxes cannot interact. Or they can, but these are not the same boxes. And so if changing something in here doesn't change something in here, and neither of these can change something in here. So let's just watch my poorly attempted job at erasing this arrow, and it doesn't even matter. Let's just not save this. So that's basically what instances mean. So that's basically what I'm trying to show you here. This is one object, and this is a different object. However, they are the same types of objects. So let's say this object was a toy. This is one toy. This is a different toy, but they are the same toy, same type of toy. So let's just say this was a stuffed animal, and the stuffed animal type it's an elephant stuffed animal, right? This is one stuffed animal, one elephant stuffed animal. This is still another animal stuffed, another elephant stuffed animal, but it's just a different one. It's just another one, another version of it. So that's objects in a nutshell. Hopefully I explained it well. If you have any questions in the video below, in the comment section below, just leave it there. And come back, or I'll welcome you back in the next video. Goodbye.